Hey everyone, this is going to be a crash course on Lucile. Just reinforcing what we're learning in genre studies. Some of you guys have questions on how to create some parts after watching some of the videos, so hopefully this clears that up. Some of you guys just want a crash course on how to do every part again really fast. So again, hopefully this provides that for you. And so yeah, buckle up and let's do this together. So you should have Lucile opened, and if you do it correctly, you should have two tracks, right? It's a lead vocal and electric bass. So if you hit play, you should hear the vocals and the bass guitar, which is the low guitar. Thumbs up if you have that. All right, and mystery teacher, if for some reason a student doesn't have that, make sure they have the link to the project. And if they accidentally deleted it, just give them a new link to start the project again. All right, next, what we're going to be doing is now we're going to be working on beginning on measure 2. But you're going to notice that there's a problem here. I see measure 1, measure 9, measure 17, measure 25, measure 33. I can't see measure 2. What I need to do is scroll to the very bottom right, click the plus sign. All right, and the reason why they have this shrunk is because some of y'all have some really big projects. I'm going to keep on clicking it until I see the measure 2 show up. So I'm still pressing it. All right, so now I see measure 2. So now we have measure 1, measure 2, 3, 4, 5. This project actually will start, for the drum part, will start on measure 2. Notice the bass line starts on measure 2, and the drum part is going to start on measure 2. I'm going to click drum set. All right, and be sure you're on a laptop because this is going to look very differently if you're doing this on an iPad. Click drum set, click on the snare drum over there, the little icon of the picture, right? And then it'll automatically have this over here. We're not going to be playing the drum set on our laptop. We're going to go to patterns. All right, so again, let me show that one more time. All right, we're going to be clicking on drum set, click on the snare drum icon, click on patterns. All right, so now we're on patterns. Make sure that it says that you're on measure 2. So this is measure 1, and if I click on this, right, it's going to build on measure 1. I don't want measure 1. I want to be building on measure 2. All right? So make sure you have it scrolled on measure 2. And click cycle. We want it to just focus on measure 2. All right? So it blocks out the other measures so you don't accidentally make something on measure 1 or measure 3. All right? So it should look like this. Thumbs up when you have this. All right, so some of you guys say, well, how do you get to measure 2? Again, there's a little scroll bar back here, right? You could just scroll it. I'm using 2 fingers on my touchpad. That also does the same thing, okay? So if it's on measure 1, you can't do anything, right? Or put it in the wrong spot. You want it to be on measure 2, and be sure you click cycle. All right, let's try it again. Thumbs up if you have that. All right, so now that you see measure 2 in front of you, right? And if you're hitting loop, it's looping this, right? You'll notice that each one of these little grids here, and you see they're a little bit separated, right, is one beat. So this is beat 1, this is beat 2, this is beat 3, and this is beat 4. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to create the hi-hat part first. The hi-hat part is the high note that goes tss, 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 right? And we're going to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the beat into half. So rather than going Huckleberry, which is split into beat into 4, let's split the beat in half. Andrew or 1 and. So 1 and, next beat, 2 and, next beat, 3 and, next beat, 4 and. If you hit play, it should sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Give me a thumbs up once you've done that. Awesome. All right, so now that we've done that, the next part is to put in the kick drum. The kick drum is the low note that goes boosh, boosh, okay? And we're going to put a kick drum on beat 1 and put a kick drum on beat 3. All right, so now it should sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, that doesn't sound exactly right just yet. We need to add a snare drum now. The snare drum is the one that has the ch sound, okay? It's going to go on beat 2 and beat 4. All right, so let's hear it. All right, so you'll notice the bass drum is on beat 1, snare drum is on beat 2, bass drum is on beat 3, snare drum is on beat 4. The hi-hats are on all the subdivisions, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so once you have that, raise your zoom hand so your teacher knows to move on. All right, so what I'm going to do now is click the X to close out of that, right? And you'll notice that you have this loop over here, right? And if I hit play right now, it's just going to still keep on looping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here on this little cycle bar here, this looping bar here, this horizontal looping bar, and just gray it out. So now I'll just keep on going.
You won't do your sister's will.
All right, but notice that the drum doesn't go on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the top corner, make sure it's a circle up here, and it says loop, and just pull it. I'm going to pull it till I reach the number 25, till I reach measure 25, okay? So again, I'll do it again. I'm going to grab the top here and pull it till it reaches 25. And you'll know it's correct because you see all the drum parts.
Lucile, you won't do your sister's will.
All right?
You ran and got married, but I love you still.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So now that we got the drum set part, we're going to put the piano part in, all right? I'm actually going to take this drum set part, right, and actually move it to the very, very bottom, all right, the very bottom of this track. It doesn't really change anything, but what it does is it puts like the piano and bass together, which is, you know, going to be helpful because they're going to actually have the same notes and the horns are going to have similar notes. So I'm just kind of like, you know, organizing my layout a little bit so that way I know where things are. All right, so here we go. We're at the piano part. The piano part will start just like the bass on measure 2. So again, I'm making sure that my cursor is a measure 2, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is make sure the piano is highlighted, click on the piano icon. I'll notice I have a keyboard down here, all right? And you'll notice that this is the note C, D, E, F, G, but you'll notice that there's a problem, right? Because we're playing this on a laptop, C now will be the letter Z, at least for most laptops. D would be the note X, E would be the note C, my brain hurts, F would be the note V, and G will be the note B, okay? So, but the good news is for Lucile, we only need to know 3 notes, okay? We need to know the letter Z here, which is C, the letter V, and the letter B. All right, so once you find those right now, all right, so pause this page and find the note C, which is the letter Z, then V, which is the note F, and then G, which is note B. Again, Z, V, B. All right, pause this page and give your teacher a Zoom thumbs up once you figure out what you're doing. All right, so now that you found these 3 notes, all right, Z, V, B, or C, F, G, we're gonna practice to the track, all right? So the way it's gonna work is this. Every time we play these notes, it's going to be held for 4 beats. We're going to hold Z for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to do it again. Z, 2, 3, 4. Again. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll try it again. Here we go. Let's start from the very beginning. So again, we're going to hold everything for 4 beats, okay? Z, 2, 3, 4. Again. Z, 2, 3, 4. Again. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to move to V. V, 2, 3, 4. V, 2, 3, 4. Back to Z. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try that one more time. Here we go. From the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3. Now to V. V, 2, 3, 4. V, 2, 3. Back to Z. Z, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. All right. The last part goes like this. B, 2, 3, 4. V, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's do the last part again. B, 2, 3, 4. Play with me. V, 2, 3, 4. Z, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I'm queued up so that it's going to start recording at measure 2. All right, so make sure the play has a measure 2. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to play along with the recording. Z, 2, 3, 4. 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 4, B, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm going to stop right there. All right, and if I did it correctly, my piano part and my bass part should look pretty much the same. You'll see the notes that are low are there, then it gets high, then low, high, and then, you know, it gets low again, right? And then high again. So here we go, watch.
You won't do your sister's will.
Right now it's going to go high.
Lucile, you won't do your
low.
sister's will.
Back to high,
You ran and got mad,
low,
but I love it still.
low, high. All right, so if I did it right, the piano part and the bass line should look the same. Now, this sounds a little bit off, all right? Actually, it sounds kind of off, very off. There's a little bit of lag when I'm recording this here. So what I do is I'm going to click Edit, all right? And when I click Edit, I'm going to go to this special thing called Quantize. And since I'm just playing whole notes, I'm just going to click over here. So it's going to click to whole notes. If you want to quantize the quarter notes, you can as well, okay? I'm just going to quantize the whole notes. What it's going to do is going to tighten everything up. So now everything is exactly lined up, okay, to the grid. And so all the notes line up. Listen. So now the piano and bass should sound exactly the same.
You won't do your sister's will.
All right.
Lucile, you won't do your sister's will. You ran and got mad, but I love it still.
Good. And since that's absolutely perfect, what I could do now is I could actually take this here and see it says loop. Just grab it and just drag. And now I've just literally created a new part.
Lucile, please come back where you belong. Lucile, please come back where you belong. I've been good to you, baby, but please don't leave me alone.
All right, now I guess I would go over here. All right, everybody, we are down to the final stretch. All right, now that you've done your piano part, you click on horns, okay? When you click on the horns, like the trumpet, the trombones, when you click on the icon, notice it's a piano because we're just doing everything on a, you know, laptop instrument, okay? So instead of playing a real trumpet, obviously, it's gonna be like playing a piano, okay? We're still gonna be using the notes Z, V, and B, okay? And I have the chart here to tell you the real notes for that. But the difference is rather than holding everything for 4 beats, so rather than going Z, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4, V, 2, 3, 4, V, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, Z, 2, 3, 4. Rather than doing that, I'm going to put a rhythm to it, okay? So every note is still going to be held for 4 beats, but now there's going to be a rhythm, and the rhythm is going to be a dotted 8 note followed by a dotted quarter note followed by a single 8 note and 2 rests. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right, notice that was 4 beats each. Then go to V, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back to Z, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then I would go to B, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and V, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Z, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then B, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so it might be better if you just hear it, okay? So make sure I'm queued up to, make sure I'm queued up to measure 2, hit record and listen along and try to play along if you can. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and B, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Z, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 B, 1 and 2 and 3 V, 1 and 2 and 3 Z, 1 and 2 and 3 back to B, 1 and 2 and 3. All right, let's see how that sounds like, okay? And I'm experiencing some lag, so this might sound a little bit behind. Here we go.
You won't do your sister's will. Lucile,
All right,
you won't do your sister's will.
a little off.
You ran and got mad, but I love it still.
Good, and notice like it's following the piano part, right? The low notes are still the low notes, the high notes are the high notes, but notice now they're just different rhythms, right? All right, so what I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna go to handy dandy quantize, right? But you'll notice now, right, my smallest note is not a whole note, it's not a quarter note, right? it is an eighth note. So we're going to quantize to an eighth note. And hopefully this will fix it. Here we go. Maybe we put it back to measure 2, and let's see, it sounds better.
You won't do
Make it a
your
little bit louder.
Lucile, you won't do your sister's will. You ran and got married, but I love you still.
Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, grab it, and drag it so now I have another 12 measures.
Please come back where you belong. Lucile, please come back where you belong. I've been good to you, baby, but please don't leave me alone.
All right, so that is it. That is Lucile. Obviously, you could make it more fancy, but that is the most basic part. Have fun. Hopefully, this video was helpful. Take care.